What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Breaking News. Eidl 2.0 goes live, and 7 things you need to know about. It is Hump Day, September the 8th, 2021. Please do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up, hashtag Eidl, the comments flowing. My goodness, have you seen me tweeting over at Try Small Biz on Twitter? That's at Try Small Biz at least 35 times in the last 24 hours, including some screenshots you may not see anywhere else. So ladies and gentlemen, let me summarize the following video as fast as I can with the following sentence. If you have been lost in space because the IRS has not provided you a 4506T, or you've lost in reconsideration not once but twice, and you'd like a really honest chance a third time to get the money that you and your family deserve, then boy oh boy, is this video for you. So do me a favor, pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee, ice cold beer, glass of wine, whiskey on a big rock. Here we go. All right, folks, I've been up since, I stayed up till 4:30 in the morning. I've talked to a shit ton of people. I want to say thank you to all the folks that sent me screenshots. If you want to see a ton of screenshots, go to Try Small Biz. You'll see the introductory email that you're going to get. It's an invitation to get your 24 months of working capital. You're going to see what the new portal looks like, including a blue button on the right-hand side that at least a third of you are going to see to request more funds. What the hell do you do with that? What is the new process, and how does it coincide with what I said 2 months ago? Miss Isabel Guzman, why don't you do us all a favor? Make the EIDL loan program the same as the 7A or the 504. That absolutely positively showed up, so I'll cover all that, including 7 things that you're going to want to pay attention to if you want to get your money in a timely fashion. All right, folks, look. Let me first of all start by saying thank you to all the other channels. Speak and See, brother from another mother. He's got the Bucks on Thursday night. I got the Cowboys. I think we're going to lose because it's the GOAT, but we'll have to see about that. Writer over at Skip, Max Maher, JJ the CPA, Aubrey Janik, Builder, Purple Power, Meet Kevin, Andrew Cartwright, Stephen Carlson, brother from another Rod Squad. You know who I think I threw in about a dozen if I forgot anybody. Please forgive me. Folks, we have been speaking this motherfucking reality into existence for the last 17 months. I was talking about $2 million loan caps over a year ago. We had 8 months of me taking shit along with Speak and See and others that we want $10,000, not $1,000 per employee, before a bill even known as the American Rescue Plan showed up. In other words, we were way far in advance of what's coming out right now by way of the SBA and the federal government. So I don't want to stand here and grandstand, although I have every fucking right to do so. Let me just say thank you to all the supporters of this channel and the other content creators. We could not have done this without you. All right, that being said, there's 7 things, and then I want to cover some things that you need to be aware of with respect to 24 months of capital. First of all, number 1, there are $2 million caps. And by the way, if you hear a fucking blower outside, it's in the middle of a rainstorm here in Atlanta, and these guys just show up right when I start a video. So we don't edit around here. If you're new, welcome. If you hear a blower going off in the background and it kind of annoys you as much as it annoys me, now you know what's going on. But number 1, there's $2 million loan caps. Now you might say, we haven't seen an official announcement. First of all, I'll let Ryder over at Skip, who got his hands on that 20-page PDF, along with a handful of others, I'll let him get in trouble for sharing that a little too early because the SBA has not officially come out and announced what we're telling you. However, we have seen the screenshots. We have seen the PDF. You guys have inundated me with emails and $2 million loan offers that are legit. You can see them at Try Small Biz on Twitter. There are, in fact, $2 million caps. Why? Because that's the way it was for many decades. Until Ms. Javita Carranza came along and said, nah, I'm going to cap it at $150,000, even though I got $350 billion that was appropriated for unspent idle loan funds, of which is about $250 billion left. So it's simply going back to the way it was, which is $2 million. And oh, by the way, you got to subtract what you got last year. So if you got $200,000 and they offer you $2 million, you're going to get 1.8. If you have multiple businesses, more than one business in your name, you can get up to $10 million of idle loans. So you could get 5 companies, a total of $2 million max if you're just applying right now. So it's $2 million in total, minus what you got last year. And if you have multiple businesses, you can get up to $10 million and no more than that with respect to the idle loan program. All right. Number 2, you can use the idle loans now to pay off just about anything. government-backed debt, private debt, business credit cards. My personal opinion, because none of this is fucking written in stone, you know why they're doing this? They know they did us a bad one last year, and that's a polite way of saying it. So they're opening up every possible angle by way of what is not written in the law to give you a chance to spend the money on whatever the hell you think is right with respect to your business expenses. And let me just go ahead and say this. And again, this is my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take this as gospel. There's no fucking way they're going to audit millions of people, almost 4 million that got an Eidl loan. Don't forget, they've gone from a $40 billion balance sheet to over $1 trillion. They've loaned out more money in the last 17 months than the last 50 years combined. So if you're wondering, man, I'm not quite certain if that's a business expense, as long as it's in the ballpark, you should have absolutely nothing to worry about, and you can use this money now as a result of Eidl 2.0 to pay off high interest credit cards, because this loan's at 3.75. So if you want to wipe out your 20% business credit cards, go ahead and do it. They're now giving you permission. Number 3, in my opinion, especially if you've been denied or you're lost in space with 4506T, it's a much easier application process. Why is that, Jason? Well, and I'm going as fast as I can, ladies and gentlemen. Under the old system, it was 2 strikes and you're out. Don't forget, I survived 2 reconsiderations recently to get my 24 months of working capital a couple of months ago. They're now saying in Eidl 2.0, and this is buried in the 20 pages of PDF, you now get a 3rd chance. But even better than that, in the old days, you had 1 loan officer at PDC Recons. Now they have a, quote, team of people that have the power to approve you through reconsideration. So that to me means instead of 1 person who may be a prick having the power to deny you a 2nd time and thereby eliminating your chances of getting money, it reads to me like they're pretty much going to give anyone who's legit by way of this committee that they're forming, and we don't have all the details out yet with respect to reconsideration. So what you have to take from what I just said, if you've been stuck or lost or not gotten through at least 2 reconsiderations, there's a 3rd strike coming, and they're pretty much making it, from the way I read it, to sound like if you're the real deal and you can provide us the minimum amount of documents and verification, you're going to get your 24 months of working capital. More information on that as soon as they make it available. You are going to get an email invitation. It basically says, our records indicate that you haven't taken advantage of to request more funds. It's on my wall. Go to Try Small Biz. Number 5, a lot of folks, about a 3rd in my opinion, are being offered more money. So when you go into your SBA portal, on the right-hand side, about a 3rd of you are going to see a blue button that says request more funds. Why is that? Well, the Office of Capital Access, who was taken over from the Office of Disaster Assistance, from what I'm being told, ran a scan of all the applications about 6 or 7 weeks ago, and they determined who was eligible based on the information, which does include a 4506T and your application and your taxes, etc., that about a 3rd of you were eligible for more money. So log into your portal, refresh the screen. 1/3 of you are going to have a chance to get more money. So if you already got 24 months of working capital, say 3 months ago, about a 3rd of you are going to get more. And by the way, one guy, thank you very much for sending it to me, got, I think, $417,000 in total. They just offered him $826,000, so that's double. Some of you are going to get a shit ton of money. And by the way, if you want to see a real $2 million loan offer that has 4 screenshots attached to it, go to Try Small Biz on Twitter. You're going to see a ton of things there that you may not see anywhere else. All right, number 6, it appears to me, and this is huge. If you recall, 2 months ago or thereabouts, I, along with a few others, were saying start treating the Eidl program like a 7A or a 504 loan. Why? Because those programs have a rule in place that if the IRS does not provide the SBA with a 4506T within 10 days, the SBA and its lenders has the power to exercise that loan. So if you look at the screenshots at Try Small Biz and the 5 things that you're now being asked to provide, it looks exactly like a 7A or a 504. In fact, if you look at the URLs, the links that they tell you to go to get your real estate, business proposal, the 2202, etc. Look at the URL. You'll see in one or two of those 7A and 504. So I have been able to clarify with somebody who knows what they're talking about in the last 12 hours. They're treating this, for the most part, like a 7A or a 504, because the second requirement of 5, when you log into the Eidl 2.0 portal, it says 2019 taxes. So you might say, holy shit, that's different than the prior application. Yes, it is. Under the prior application, you had to have a 4506T. And there's thousands of people watching, and probably 500,000 more around the country, that have been fucked by the SBA, in particular the IRS, because they're so far behind on the taxes. But if they're now going to treat this like a 7A or a 504 loan, and the link, the second one I believe it is, says your 2019 taxes upload here, well, that's not a 4506T. So we don't have clarification on that yet, but it looks to me that it's going to be much like a 7A or a 504. So if you've been waiting more than 10 days, the SBA is going to have the power to exercise your application and get you the 24 months of working capital. So in case you didn't hear what I just said, if you've lost twice in reconsideration, you're going to get a third chance. And the way this frequently asked question or PDF, and you'll see it hopefully in 24 to 48 hours, as long as you're the real deal, you're going to get the money. They're giving multiple people the power to say, approved, not just one loan officer who might be an asshole who doesn't give a shit about you and your family. And secondly, if you're stuck in limbo for months, and this is huge, with 4506T, it looks like the new application process just wants your 2019 taxes, which leads me to another point. You'll see this again in the screenshots. Why are they asking me for proof of real estate ownership? Well, it's simple terms. If you get a loan over $25,000, you got to have collateral. So if you live in an apartment, which is fine, you can still get funded, you need to have some form of collateral, i.e. assets. Your IRA, your 401k, a savings account, trucks or equipment that you own outright that you don't own a mortgage on, you got to have assets if you're going after a bigger loan. So one of the ways, if they're not going to require a 4506T, they're making you write out a personal business plan, and take your time with that. Again, it's pinned in the top. You'll see it in the email invitation. It's in your portal once you request more funds. I know I'm going fast, but some people hate 25-minute videos. The important thing to know is everything is self-explanatory. Slow it down. Yes, you're asked to provide a couple of things like, do you own any real estate? What's the value? What's your mortgage, etc.? And you have to fill out a sheet, your personal business plan, which is basically your address, your information, and your assets and liabilities. Why the hell are they asking for that now and they weren't before? Well, if they're going to use their leeway, if you will, and not wait on the IRS, they need to have some information to verify that you're legitimate. So if you're having trouble with the idea that you're going to have to write down your assets or your liabilities, or that if you live in an apartment, you're going to have some form of collateral in the form of assets that you own, I can't help you. But if you've been stuck in space, if you've been fucked over in reconsideration, once you guys see this PDF, and again, go check out the screenshots, there are a ton of people, folks, there are people that filled out this fucking application last night and they're already hearing back within the last 2 hours from the SBA. The Office of Capital Access ain't fucking around. And this 20-page PDF is extremely liberal. They're bending over backwards within the scope of the law to give you more than one way to get funded 24 months of working capital. But before I go, as I've heard relentlessly in the last 18 hours on Twitter and in my email, well, what does this mean about our $10,000, Jason? It means there's nothing in Eidl 2.0 regarding the grants. Whether you're in low, middle, or high, it has everything to do with the loans, the increases, which a third of you are going to be offered more money. Go check out your portal. But as I've been saying for 17 months, ladies and gentlemen, and God bless each and every one of you who has stuck with me for this long, because it ain't been easy on you, and it certainly hasn't been easy on me. If you haven't figured this out by watching me for the last 17 months, I ain't going fucking anywhere. until it's $10,000 regardless of size, location, or credit score. We have an election year coming up. If this economy slows down going into the beginning of next year, in order for the Democrats in particular to hang on to power, they're going to have to start throwing money around. That's going to be restaurant money, $50 billion minimum, more PPP, $50 billion minimum, and appropriate or reissue $25 billion so we can get everybody 10 grand regardless of size, location, or credit score. We just got you $2 million caps. You're getting 24 months of working capital. By the way, some of you have asked me, are they going to go up to 36? That's a rumor. That's a rumor for the first quarter of next year. It's not a fucking guarantee, but it's a rumor that they're going to offer up to 36 months if the economy slows down and they feel as if they still have enough money left after 24 months of working capital. And yes, as I've been saying now about everything else, many, many months before it fucking happens, I started talking about Eidl loan forgiveness back in March of last year, and it was December the 7th, 2020 of last year that Big Ben fucking Cardin in a Facebook Live with Karen Mills finally said, by the way, if I had my way, I would see that the Eidl loan program was treated like PPP and it'd be forgiven so that you'd never pay the SBA a fucking dime. I am going to make sure that he follows through on that one way or another. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, in under 16 minutes, always remember that I love you and thank you so much for watching.